part of. So
why the Boston Celtics? I guess, and everything is allegedly, right? Allegedly we hear this. Allegedly we hear that. Allegedly, why were the Celtics on your list?
Well, they came a-knocking, which it worked out perfectly in terms of the history of the way I've grown up, my dad playing here, just a lot of history in the city, as well as my mom and dad meeting here, which I'm appreciative because there would be no me without the meeting. So I feel like this was just kind of meant to be, and I feel right at home. And the fact that it was going to be the Boston Celtics, as we have played you guys in the Eastern Conference Finals as well as the semifinals in the first round the last 3 years. So seeing this change of guard and as well as the change of pieces, and by the way, it's just a true appreciation for what all those players gave you. That honestly, it was a crazy deal that the way it happened. But I'm just glad to be here and glad to be a part of it, man.
What did you think of the organization when you were in Cleveland? I'm talking about the Celtics organization, battling them in the playoffs, seeing their fan base. What were your thoughts of Boston and the Celtics?
Well, listening to you, not only you guys speak, but as well as our colored people and as well as everyone and the fans in the stadium, it got rowdy. And you appreciate being in the TD Garden and seeing how appreciative they are of just great talents. Don't get me wrong, of course, there were some barrage of comments that you just literally that you hear all the time and you point at them and stuff like that, but now it feels good to be on the other side of that. And seeing those square boxes on that hardwood, man, is something that I always had in the back of my mind when I ran out of that tunnel in the opposing team's locker room. But now that I get to be on the other side, I'm excited to step on that floor as a Celtic.
So in your press conference, you talked about being the greatest version of yourself. Was that greatest version like when LeBron had 3 fouls and like you went off and scored like I think 18 of 20 points? Is that what we're expecting in a night out?
Oh man, whenever that duty calls, man, you just prepare for it because there are situations that come across the game, as you know, as both of you guys know, the flow of the game can change in an instant, and I just try to be as prepared and be even keel and unwavering in my approach, so my teammates have that same trust that I have in them to go out there and really be myself and be themselves and come out with a win.
Now, when you did that, I remember you weren't surprised that you were doing that. You understand that those are historic performances in the playoffs. Those are remembered forever. And you were just like, ho hum, this is another Wednesday for me. And so, like, I get that, you know, your level, your skill level. I understand that, but that was like a performance that, unlike anything I've ever seen. I've seen a lot.
I appreciate that. I think when you watch some of the great players that have come before all of us in terms of the great performances and them rising to that occasion, it almost seems like it's fitting that they've done it at that moment. And when you watch the interview after, or you watch how their humility just speaks through them, because the perfection of the craft is what I appreciate most. Being in the gym and then being able to display that on a national stage is something that I've dreamt of as a kid. So that appreciation, then, as well as getting a win in front of your home crowd, there's nothing like it. So you encapsulate all that, and then you try to just be even keel because the series wasn't over.
Yeah.
So it's like you're playing multiple steps, but honestly, the most important thing is being with your teammates, celebrating the win, and then going back out and going after it again.
You say, the best version of yourself. How much more can Kyrie Irving, like, what can fans expect from you? What level can you get to, do you think?
Man.
You can say it.
Man. It's going to be pretty exciting, guys. That's and I don't want to just leave it at that, but it's like that's where the only place I can leave it until we get to training camp, because there are a lot of steps that we need to cross and in order to even get to this real thing. It's very much real now, but it's going to get a lot more real once the season starts, and I can't wait to get with with my teammates and the coaching staff and get this thing going.
How definitive was the line before LeBron got there and then after he got there, and like playing for making the playoffs versus playing to win a championship?
Well, you think about that journey and how you started, and as a 19-year-old kid, as well as being drafted with Tristan Thompson, and then the great players that we've had over that span of that 3-year span before Bron came back, we were in a rebuilding stage, and it's and I'm appreciative of that, because it was those times really prepared me to step forward into that light of what it was going to be like for the next 3 years between 4 and 6, my years in Cleveland. And it was just awesome, man. It was simply awesome because it challenged me every single day. And I don't know any human being that doesn't want to be challenged, but I appreciate being in that realm. And there were some ups and downs, just like anything in being on a team. You know how it is, traveling, going from city to city, and when you rack up the amount of months that you've sacrificed away from your family and away from your friends and everything like that in order to be with these great guys that you're building bonds with, it's something that you'll never forget. But the journey is ultimately the reward, and I leave it at that in terms of just what I appreciate most from going through those years. Because the first 3 were totally different from the last 3. So I think about all that, and they were just steps in getting better.
Kyrie, this offseason, obviously, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of reports out there.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the reports, I'm sure. What were your thoughts on some of the things that were reported, you and LeBron, you and the Cavs organization? What were some of your thoughts on that? And was that stuff true, or were you knowing inside it wasn't true? What were your thoughts this offseason?
Well, I think we're going on a certain amount of days of going when I wasn't speaking or doing anything, because that's not the platform that I exist on. And honestly, that reality, I don't even know if you can call it reality, because it was a whole bunch of noise and a whole bunch of hearsay, and I don't live in that. Like, I go home, I see my daughter, I see my family, I perfect my craft, I appreciate my teammates, and then I go about my business on the floor, and I leave it at that. Anything else that comes with that, or they want to elevate in terms of picking who is going against who and this, I don't do that. I'm a 25-year-old man. Like, I have priorities that I love about this life, and when I get a chance to meet individuals like you guys for the first time and seeing you guys on TV and now getting a chance to do this is what I appreciate, man, these moments, rather than listening to what that is, because it's not real at all, so.
Game 1, Cleveland.
Can't wait.
At least you don't have to sit around and wait for it, right?
Can't wait. October 17th, man. It'll be an exciting time in Cleveland, and I know everyone's going to be excited, not only from our fan base, but just the whole entire NBA, because the Eastern Conference, man, it's going to be a battle.
And do you look at this team as, obviously you've been a part of a championship in the 3 finals in a row. Mm-hmm. You're coming in here saying, listen, this is what it takes to be a champion. This is a championship caliber team, or we still have a long ways to go.
Well, I think I said it at the press conference. We haven't even had a meeting yet, so it's kind of hard to even put a ceiling on anything that we're doing right now in terms of what championship caliber is, because I think, as you know, Brian, like, a championship caliber team can differ based on the different personalities that you have on the team. So, and then. It's just so many moving parts, and you got to trust the next guy next to you as well as the guy in front of you, and everything that embodies being on a team and a collective, man. So getting a collection of individuals to buy into the same mission, it sounds easy, but like I said, Brian, it takes a while to build that into something great, and it is every single day, moment to moment, taking advantage of that. So.
Kyrie, we got a question from Facebook right now. Tom says, which player are you most excited to play with? This is a whole new Celtics roster, too.
Yeah, man.
With everybody on 11 different new players now.
Got Marcus, T. Rozier, Al Horford, man. Am I missing somebody?
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. Forgot about high-flying Jaylen Brown that I'm about to be throwing crazy oops to. But, man, like I said, this is going to be a very, very great learning experience for all of us. 11 new individuals, then we have 4 guys that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year that I had a chance to play against, and now we have all these new moving parts. Oh, it's going to take some time. But my job is to help bridge that gap between understanding that these times that happen, they don't last forever, man. We're going to go through some tough times. We're going to go through some dips and stuff like that, and being a new team, man, it's going to take some time, but we'll be all right.
Did you really wrap garbage bags around balls and dribble them around? Because I'll go into the hood now, and that's what I see. So I'm trying to say, did you do that because you were preserving your balls, because you knew that was how your handle was going to improve?
I did it, but I didn't. It got to the point where it was almost part of my workout regimen.
Gotcha.
But I did it for a little bit because I know Baron Davis did it, so I kind of just picked it up and then took it from there.
Does it actually work? I got an 8-year-old son. Should I run home and have him do that?
You can't teach.
I need to handle. He has to work on those handles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. It takes a lot of hours and time, man. Yeah.
All right, Kyrie Irving, thanks for joining us, man. Welcome to Boston.
Man. Yes, sir.